on hit points for quite a while. I should have a lot more hit points.
You mean you're supposed to be the tank?
I know I have not leveled my hit points since level 3.
What? Right. Just so you know. Right, we're live. We've just found out that Jean is an absolute lemonhead. Right.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. It's been months and months. I think July, honestly, since the last time we streamed Carbon. And I've only just recently started streaming again on the channel anyway, so we want to get Carbon back into it because I personally love it.
15th of July.
15th of July.
Hoorah!
Yeah, ridiculous. I took a few months off to do real life stuff, boo. But we're going to smash back on with it, make the channel superstar, we're all going to be rich, and then we can all quit jobs and just be nerds for life. That's never happening. So, we'll quickly go through some...
I got some shiny new dice in that time from Thornless Rose, custom.
I still got the old faithful. So.
I got my Thornless Rose dice as well a couple of months ago.
You've got invisibility dice. So you've got a blurry background.
Yeah, they've got all numbers on them, so I can just be like, natural 20!
No, they're not bardic inspiration. They're not bardic inspiration, all right?
I've not used it bardic for a couple of sessions.
Oh, God.
Right, so, social media, we're all over social media, like Instagram, Twitter. Instagram will be getting used a hell of a lot more as we go into 2022 because of the amount of, in real life, situations we're going to be taking Heavyweight Gaming to. For example, we are booked to go to the UK Games Expo. Woo! I've got it written on my board. On the 2nd to the 5th of June 2022, kids. Birmingham NEC. Boom! It's going to be amazing. So yeah, so we're going to be at that. And we'll be doing lots more stuff. So we've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We've got a Discord. The buttons underneath the stream, if you're watching it, you can just go to, click on them. The link will take you to those particular things and you can follow, etc., etc. The sponsor for the stream is the creator of Carbon 2185, which is Dragon Turtle Games. If you go to their web store and use the code WAIT, W-A-I-T-E, you'll get 10% off anything you buy. So yeah, do that, and you get it cheaper than yeah. That's the only sponsor for the Carbon game. We use Sunscape, by the way. So if you can hear the music, it's Sunscape's sound sets. Go check them out; they're super cool. If you want to run a tablet or a digital device at your table, so you got a bit of ambience going around, they're brilliant. If you play online like we do, there's an app that your players can download. You invite them to your game, and whatever sound set you play, they can hear, and they can obviously turn it louder and quieter for their personal choice. Some like it blaring out, others not so much. So yeah, go check out Sunscape. They're really cool if you want to create ambient sounds and such in your games, both online and around the table. 200 bits. There's only a few of you in chat tonight. If more turn up, please remind them. But boom, Dwarf Warrior straight in.
Gene, don't waste them.
If you donate 200 bits, in this case 400 for Dwarf Warrior, thank you very much. If you donate every 200 bits donated, the party gets a reroll. They can only use it on their rolls. They can't use it on the Dungeon Master rolls. They cannot use it on death saving throws, and they cannot carry them over to next week's session. They can only hold 5 at one time. If they use 2 or 3 of them, and you want to put them back up to 5, feel free, but they can't go above 5. So yeah, thank you very much if you do. As you can see, Lauren is not with us today. Bless her, she's recovering. But hopefully she'll be watching and heckling this lot from the chat. If not, hopefully she's asleep, resting. There are 2 cameras with no faces on them. Depending on what these 2 lovely coconuts do, they may or may not appear. But they are currently sat in chat, or sat in the call, sorry, waiting to be brought in. And we will see how tonight goes. Alright, so I've got a mad recap. For you two, for Dave, and for mystery guest. So I'm going to bring that up now, and we're going to recap what you lot have been doing. So, way back when, the party, Jesus, we're a bunch of cyberpunks setting out on a new career of getting a few quid for doing some rubbish jobs, i.e. earn a few one-longs They're picking up guns, delivering drugs, bodyguarding bikers. They did some work for the Sons of Chaos, which are a biker gang that are pretty dominant in District 5. They bumped into a mercenary called Cherry Bonbon. They got into the thick of it with an arms dealer called Bison and his gang of Bison's Babes. Turns out Cherry Bonbon is a part of the private merc company called the Sweet Shop, and now both parties are on one another's radar. Interpret it as you will. They lost their hacker Sparks, but quickly replaced him with a retired Marine and ex-prize fighter, Larry. Oh, and Clockwork has just hosted my stream. Thank you very much, Clockwork. They lost their hacker Sparks, quickly replaced him with a retired Marine and ex-prize fighter known as Larry. A big job came along from the British megacorp, the Crown Estate. They hired the party to go to Mars to retrieve assets from an abandoned Nightingale facility. This, like any other mission, led to them having a fight among the clouds, which ended with them crashing into a radioactive forest beyond San Francisco. It was here they learned of a small nanotown, that's what we're calling it, with folk who were very resistant to the radiation, but still dying slowly. Oh, poor Jean. But never mind that. Let's go to Dubai and get to Mars. A simple task. I didn't mention all the crashings of the really expensive ships, but you know. Having been asked to remain quiet and not raise suspicion, they tried to kill one another on the freight hauler taking them to Mars. But eventually, got to Mars. Once they got to Mars and was asked to keep it quiet and remain, you know, do not raise suspicion, they got on really, 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 really well with no conflict whatsoever with their new party member, Ewan. It's worth noting at this point that they left their meathead Chase back on Earth. Working as a
Some might say the intelligent one.
Yeah. The one brain cell of the party is thousands of miles away. Working as a well-oiled machine, they arrived at the abandoned facility, but not before getting a secret side quest to find a young boy who'd been kidnapped and possibly taken to the facility.
And space aids.
Space aids, yeah. And Jean decided to get his end away. With much investigating done at the facility, the party found, are you ready for the bullet points? Nanites holding memories in amber stones deep below the facility. The facility itself was furnished with mundane furniture and equipment running on old school generators. Not old school generators, old school generators. A pair of sword sheaths, one ruby in colour, one sapphire in colour. A room where large humanoids with the features of their friend Chase they were situated, etc. And apparently were being, I was going to say the word milked, but that seems a bit rough and a bit over 18. So we're going to go with draining them and creating a substance called Euphoria. A room where a child was kept, and obviously experiments were done in this particular room. There was equipment and such, and records that they found to confirm said side quest was indeed here. They found the boy. His name was Mason. Project name Kane. Going up through the facility, totally as a well-oiled machine. This is quickly becoming the name of their cyberpunk party. With all in sync, all knowing what each other were doing without a step put wrong. They all split up and went through the vents. When they got up to the data center high above in this Mount Olympus, on Mars, it's important that they're on Mars because it took them long enough to get there. They found a huge data center with 12 banks of computers and servers and machinery storing data of what sort. Nobody knows because they had a talk instead of a fight. Thanks for the lovely map and the tokens. And left. But whilst there, they did meet somebody calling themselves Medic, who was apparently the head of the project Kane, and was very aware of Mason's skill set, which it seems is able to manipulate nanites at range to do multiple things that not many folk have ever seen or ever heard of. Ooh, psychic powers. But hey ho! It was time to totally not fall out and have a go at each other and make their way back to the Dome City. Plan their next move after returning Mason to his father. Here we come to where the party is now. Mason is to stay on Mars with his father and his father's partner, not Mason's partner, who just happens to be none other than Blueberry, the sister of Cherry Bonbon. Dun dun dun.
Bum bum bum.
They will remain on Mars, but they have asked Jean and his heroic friends to fake returning Mason to Earth. For those chasing him will follow and keep Mason much, much safer. It was agreed, as there was a price, and cyberpunks like money. Fake Mason is with grandmother. Fake Mason grandmother. There we go. And John was set out to look for her. While they all set out looking and was like, cool, we've got this plan. All we got to do is get Mason off here, fake Mason, and get lots of money. Oh, look. Lots of guns pointed at us. Oh, they're not even pointing at us. I do lie. They were pointed elsewhere because someone had captured Philip, the Crown Estate person, who may or may not have gone renegade. So the medic did what all medics do and attacked, causing a great fight to go off in the hangar where all the ships were that were preparing to leave Mars and take them on their merry way back to Earth. A massive fight ensued, and Philip died. Boo. Confirming that Philip was indeed dead, Jean, 413X, Ewan all said their goodbyes in their own ways and split up throughout the Dome 1, this dock dome. Jean dropped the disguise of Ryan, which he was going to use to pass off as Mason's father while they flew away. As it seemed, folk were looking for Ryan, but nobody was looking for Jean. Where we left it was, Jean, you could see maybe 30, 40 feet in front of you, the grandmother with the frame helping her walk, and a young Mason stood hand in hand. 413X and Ewan, you'd found a coffee shop, or a cafe, in this oversized dock, and were currently, 413X was being very quiet, left with their own data transmissions. Ewan had done a bit of talking with Jean, but no one had made a move beyond that. The last conversation you had with your friend Larry was between Larry and Jean, and Larry was not returning with you for whatever reason. For those at home, the last we saw of Larry was him tailing Mason, his father, and his father's partner in a protective manner. I'm not sure if you actually reached into your pocket yet, John, have you, and found the dog tags?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. And so Jean is aware that Larry will not be returning with the message of, I'll keep an eye on the kid, catch you later. So, we will go into the game now, kids, while I play my musical time of Sirenscape.
If it doesn't start with Pokemon gotta catch 'em all, then we're playing the wrong game. Because every time you mention the scabbards and their colours, I'm like, sounds like Pokemon.
So you can hear ships all about you as you're in a very large dock. It is the equivalent of King's Cross, but with spaceships times 10. Launch sequence activated. There you go. Well in there. You can see ahead. We'll go to you, Jean, first. You see ahead of you. Let me bring that up. You see ahead of you the grandmother and the fake Mason holding hands, stood in a bus shelter type structure, looking about, just casually looking about, curious eyes from Mason. No one seems to have clocked you or anything yet. Whilst you were looking for them, you had done many checks and investigations, last perception stuff, and clocked that nobody was eyes on you or interested in you, it seems, so far, including walking past the bleach blonde haired woman that seemed to be leading the capture of Philip. She made eye contact with you but didn't even bat an eyelid, as if, in non-recognition. What do you want to do?
I don't have eyes on James on 413X or Ewan, do I?
No, they are further away, literally in a cafe. You all scarpered after the fight.
Yeah. I will send a message just saying, got eyes on the decoy. I don't think Larry's coming back to Earth with us. Actually, and I kind of and then after sending that, I'll send a second message that says, no, Larry isn't coming back to Earth with us. And I'll send a picture of his dog tags to them. And then I'll head over towards the grandmother and Mason, and the fake Mason.
Fake Mason. FM. As you approach, The old lady reacts pleasantly, broad smile across her face, and just sort of raises a hand from from the frame, keeping hold of the other, and gives you a little wave, letting go of Mason's hand. Mason
I smile broadly and kind of like open up my arms.
Mother. And Mason just waves at you with a cheery smile on his face, but he doesn't rush towards you or anything. Do you just like walk up to them with arms open?
Yeah, I kind of like left hanging slightly. I'll just kind of like move forward and give Mason a hug.
Hug the kid next to him. Yeah, that's right. Mason hugs back. No words are passed. Just that Mason hugs back, and you feel the old lady pat you on the shoulder. And then as you look,
I'll whisper really softly, "Thank you," to Mason, and kind of loud enough that the grandmotherly type lady would hear as well, but not so loud that it would be obvious to other people too near us. Sorry.
Yeah. You're very welcome, dear. And she holds a hand out for you to stand. Obviously, you knelt to hug Mason. So, all ready for the trip?
As ready as we're going to be. There was 1 or 2 hiccups you might have noticed.
Mason chimes in. Isn't there supposed to be more of you?
They're on their way, and I look down at my phone and kind of think, I hope.
Yeah. I love how the one that wasn't saying anything's playing, and the one that was saying something is not here. When you look down at your phone, you've got a message from Ryan.
Okay, cool.
Why am I a wanted terrorist?
Yeah. By the way,
what does it say?
As you open it, there is a picture, which I will get described to you in a second.
Okay.
This is Abel, a very close friend of mine. In fact, he was the one that gave me the information of Mason's whereabouts. After seeing a few of your friends, please don't take this as an offence, but I prefer someone I know skilled with weaponry to be at your side, at least for this part of the journey.
Wounded, sir, wounded.
Mason's dad hasn't got a clue what you do. I've worked with him in the past. We used to play murder ball together. He's a bit of a dick, but you can trust him, at least around Mason, when Mason's concerned. If you turn him away, that's your choice. I just don't want to weaken the chances of this mission being a success.
Is he connected to Sweet Shop? Is my reply.
Not even close. He's born and bred here.
Been to Earth?
He has, but not often. Most of his work is done on the domes, and a few outside the dome works.
Okay, if you trust him with Mason, then I'll trust him.
Once Mason is safe, that trust is down to you.
Understood.
And then walking towards you, put your camera on, Dave.
Just so you're all aware, none of us, except AD in this chat, knows what's about to happen.
Hey! It's not
There we
Dave.
go.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't David.
Just need to find Dave's...
Wow, his beard's broke.
Yeah, it has. That's why it was probably had his camera off.
I mean, you're still on mute, Dave.
You're
but
still
your
on
beard's
mute,
broke.
buddy.
You off to bed, mate? I know it's disgusting. It's Sapphire.
Sapphire but underwater.
Underwater, yeah. They've met her. They just didn't know she could do that. Right, cool. Night, boys. Love you. So,
Spoilers.
well, one of you's met. Dave, if you'd like to describe the person approaching Jean, off mute.
First off, Jean, or Nathan, how tall is Jean?
Good question. It's not that. I don't think I made him that tall. Let me
He's
just
like
on a
5'9",
second.
10", I think you described him as. I think he's just under 6, isn't he?
I've got it all written down. 1.83 meters. So yeah, just under.
So he's 6'1", 6. He's 6.
Okay. So this chap you see walking towards you, he's 5'1". So
Okay.
the closer he gets to you,
are we
head
sure I
sort of
actually see
tilts
him
up.
walking towards?
It's not that crowded, all right? It's not that crowded. He's got a brown leather duster on, and he's wearing a Stetson. Underneath the jacket, you can tell that he's got some bulk behind him, but it's sort of angular, so one can probably assume that it's armor. And on the back, he's got what looks like a big cello case. And he's sort of just he's walking towards you, and as he's walking, you can hear the ching, ching, and as you look down at his boots, he does have...
He's a dwarven space cowboy. I mean...
He's basically a dwarven space cowboy.
Desperado.
He's got shaved heads on the sides, and if he took the hat off, he's got like a bright red mohawk. He's got red tribal tattoos up the side of his face, and he's got a pink glittery goatee, and his mustache is all curled at the corners.
Oh my god! I'm never going to be able to stealth again.
Artwork incoming. All stealth rolls now at disadvantage.
Gonna be amazing.
The
He walks
picture.
up
The
to
good
you.
news is he glares so much you could probably hide in his shadow.
Probably.
The,
I don't know how tall is 4138 again. Like,
5
5 foot. I've got an
dead.
inch on you.
Yeah.
the picture matches.
Wow.
I mean, it's a
No,
very...
no wonder I keep getting caught. I stand out.
Clearly not enough neon in your life.
I've got purple hair. Most of the time. Hi, Abel.
You alright? How you doing, bud?
Good. Ryan said I can trust you.
Yeah, me and Ryan go way back.
Murderball, right?
Yeah, he helped me out a couple of times. He got me into Murderball. You know, working docks is shite, but Murderball's a good laugh. And then yeah. So I'm just here to help. He gave me this picture, and I'll show you a picture of you.
I'm glad they were of John.
and it sort of looks exactly like if someone were to sort of hold a phone over a table and just literally take a picture of you. So it's almost like Ryan got a phone out or a camera and took a picture of you whilst he met you in the John Wayne. And so I was just he told me to look for this, and I assume I found you. I put the picture away. It's I'm at your disposal, I guess.
This is Mason.
I know, we've met at one time.
Hi, Abel.
How you doing, Mason?
Just laughs at being called Mason.
And we're just, and I look down at my phone to see if I had a reply. We're just, I'll send another message. Package acquired. +1.
Ian will stand from said coffee table chair. Are you coming, 413X?
This unit has contemplated 14,605 possible computations of the previous combat, and in all of them, the previous unit, known as Philip, deceased. This unit is now operational.
Okay, Doctor Strange, let's go. And then we'll start heading towards the dock area. Time passes. 413X and you and Blesser. Yeah, you walk around past, you navigate whether you want to do it stealthily or just by the skill of blending in. You are more than a pair of you capable to do so without the disadvantages of having Jean or any other unit.
Or a neon dwarf.
Yeah, or a neon dwarf. Or any other unit with you. But you see that there's quite a lot of official work going on around where the battle was. They just started putting up the barriers and stuff. It's very much like the thing you remember it closest to 413 is probably on military campaigns when there's been more forensic stuff needed doing when certain missions have been fulfilled, more diplomatic missions, and there's a bit more investigating going on than the normal District 5 murder thrown down an alley sort of outcome. You make your way to where the docking areas are. You hear and see all the transport ships, the small sort of atmosphere hopping coaches as they were, and it don't take you too long to find Jean and his purple hair. You and Ewan were both aware that he dropped the disguise of Ryan to be less easy to find. Standing with him, you see Mason. You see a old lady with a frame standing with Mason, and previously described Neon Dwarf. Sneak attack, okay, Form 3.
How did you read my mind?
Been here 5 minutes. Do you allow yourself to be seen by Jean? Or are you still holding cool? Jean, you see Form 3X and Ewan?
I'll nod at Yun and then look at 413X. He's very dead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't save him.
413X understands.
Are you both good to go?
We are both fully caffeinated and able to continue with the mission.
What he said.
This is Abel.
How do?
Ryan sent him when he heard about the trouble at the docks.
Nice
here.
to meet you, unit named Abel.
He's here to help make sure that we deliver the package safely to ensure Mason is safe and well.
Understood. Which way to the ship that will take us there?
I'll look at Yun at that point.
She just gestures to all the transport ships around you, and the old lady goes, "You'll need these," and she just produces like almost rectangular pieces of like perspex that you are fully aware that when activated will have data on them, but at the minute they just look like clear plastic rectangles, and she passes them out.
Thank you, unit known as Old Lady.
You could call me GA4N.
Thank you, GA4N.
She rolls up her woolen sleeve, and you just see GR4N on her thing, and some more numbers which are her serial number for the synth that she is.
If there is nothing else needed on Mars, should we depart?
Yeah.
You've a choice. You've a choice of flights. There's one in an hour. There's one tomorrow and one the day after. All around this time. It's entirely up to yourselves. I'm gonna leave Mason with you now. You might want to look more like his dad than you do now. Just nods at Jean. But I've got things to do. And you see her, she doesn't wait for a response, she turns and uses the frame to hobble away. She gets about 30 feet from you and does that, end of movie, fooled you all walk. The frame just folds up into a cane that she just starts twiddling in her fingers. She walks a bit straighter and she just walks off further into the dock, not needing the aid of a frame and not looking as old as she did. That's pretty clever, says Mason. How do, love? I will literally stop the stream right now. She got boobs out. yeah, you can't expect me to keep that shit quiet, love. You know what I mean? Well, it's your own fault. You shouldn't have done it in front of me.
15 minutes to the watershed.
I did check a
Get that
picture.
on stream.
Check chat. So you're left with Mason, who's just stood there smiling, staring up at you like there's totally fine.
GR4N units are especially good at infiltration in that regards. However, 413X unit suggests that we take the boat in the next 59 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah.
I agree.
John, if you want to find somewhere to make yourself look more Ryan-like,
Dad.
we don't mind looking after Mason for a bit.
The less time I look like him, the better. He's been searched for. So the closer to departure time I wait, appreciating that is only 58 minutes. How long does it take to get through check-in here, Jan? Or Abel?
Well, you either one of us. The checkout that she points across the way, you can see where you basically just insert said perspex. It beeps. It will give you your details of flight, and then you follow these arrows down here, and she points down, and it goes off the dock and down, and you can see there's just queues and aisles, and all these sort of hover coaches is a bit much, but you don't see wheels on these large coach/bus vehicles, but they all have a number on the side and on the front that will match your ticket, as it were.
Okay.
It takes as long as the queue takes.
Okay. All right. I'll go and look. It's only 59 minutes, right? I'll put a hood up or something. Do my best to keep a low profile. I can blend in for an hour.
So is your plan to
Right.
make yourself look like Ryan before you get on the coach?
Yeah.
So you'll go find somewhere, which is easy enough. 20p toilets, job done. And you give me your performance check or disguise check, whatever it is.
Been so long. I can't remember.
I ain't got a clue. Roll a d20.
And add some numbers, right? That's how this shit works. I started a new D&D campaign on Wednesday. I should know this. I just don't know my stats. What we've got? I've got a disguise. Is it disguise? That feels like it should be disguise.
Disguise
Deception.
is not in this.
I've got deception. Persuasion.
So
There's
you've got a
performance.
choice.
I've
Deception.
got a disguise kit. What does that do?
It allows your proficiency to be added to the roll.
Ah,
So
yes.
roll a performance check.
Yeah.
Are you proficient in it?
What in performance?
Yep.
No.
Cool. Add your proficiency to it as if you are, because you have the disguise kit.
18.
Cool. That is your disguise score. So, now we'll do a quick roll. Oh, a 38 on a d6. Right, cool. You say 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As time passes,
I'm
Hey,
trying
Bill.
to pass as Ryan, but then once I am Ryaned up, I am going to, when I come back out,
Yep.
I'm going to try and do that sort of blend into the crowd job, right? So I'm going to, edge the coat up, a bit of a scarf wrap.
in the last couple of hours from the fight, you've been in and amongst this crowd enough doing exactly that you are well aware of the physical cues to make. It's kind of your thing. People's your thing. Do you know what I mean? So you've already read the crowd. They're not a complicated crowd. They're people coming and going, just workers and stuff like this. And you're able to do that with minimal effort, i.e. no roll needed. You've done it several times before. You've got this down.
Nice.
New crowd, new roll, etc., etc. So yeah, so you come out. It's pretty damn good, to be fair. Both Abel and Fallen 3X, Onion, all can see that you are uncannily like Ryan. As you approach, Mason goes, "Dad," and just holds his hand out for you.
I
Don't move towards you. He just holds his hand out.
Yeah, I walk over and sort of like, "Come here, you rascal."
Not fucking rub his head.
Yeah, so shall we? You looking forward to the trip?
Always, Dad.
Great. It's been a long time since I've been to Earth. Really gonna love it. I'm gonna meet up with some friends of mine. Hopefully, we'll be able to show you around San Francisco.
I like cities.
Oh, you've not seen anything like this before. It's amazing.
We go now?
We've got all the nice places.
You know nice places. We go now? We wait?
No, we're going to go now. My friends are ready. Let's go.
Holds your hand and don't move until you move.
I'll start heading towards the
As you all
check-in.
head over to the check-in, it was exactly how Ian said. There's just lots of slots, and you see people putting their Perspex tickets in there, and as they come back out, you can see the data transmissions just sort of run across it and then fade. And same happens to yourselves, but you all get a number pop up on yours just before it goes, as do the others, and it all says number 6. Looking out across the way, you can see you're looking for the bus number 6. You go down you follow the other people down off the docks. The noise, it's quite noisy. There's a lot of vehicles there. I'll try and not put it too loud on for chat, but there is a lot of vehicles here. You are in a massive planetary port for vehicles going off-world and out across Mars, and they're not just your usual cars and taxis. So let me go back to them. There we go. You see all the space coaches. They're quite a chunky size themselves. As you approach, they're akin to maybe lorry size, like your 45-foot lorries back on Earth. They are very, very large. You eventually do get there. It takes about 15-20 minutes as the queue's moving. Even though there's not a lot of admin going on or a lot of official, staff there, people tend to behave and just kind of get on with it, because it is very worker orientated around here for folk, again, going off world to do mining or staying on world to do mining and various other craft. They just get on with it, and they don't want each other to be late, so they just behave, sort of thing. Far better than it is back on Earth. You make your way, you finally get to the number 6 coach. Again, it is a massive ship, bus, unit. You get on, the doors open as you approach. As they do approach, you see the number 6 flash like woo on your ticket, reacting to the sensors on the door. It opens up. As you all step on, you see there are rows and rows of seats, very much like a coach, and then towards the back there is a bar area that is big enough for people to actually sit and drink, etc. You all travel to Mars. It takes a while, even with the jumps that they have in the old space, but it doesn't take you too long to figure out that, okay, that's the R&R part of this trip. Once you are on the coach, and maybe half an hour later, as you're all just sitting and you find your seats comfortable, it's full of workers. There is no pilot, as it were. These things seem to be on an automated. It's all technology as well, like you recognise, especially yourself, Jean, and Ruffworx probably with his military experience. You recognise that it is an old technology, but it's one that works. The whole, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and the automation of these vehicles and such are probably synced to a larger freight ship beyond the atmosphere, and that is their pattern. They just return and come to dock, back to ship, dock. That's their thing. They're not freely piloted. Again, as that half hour passes and you've all taken your seats, sit where you want. Mason will make a point of sitting next to Jean, aka not Dad. No one goes to the bar area. There is a robot or a mech behind the bar that is kind of down powered, and the head sort of sags and the arms are sagged. Clearly not ready to perform its function. After that half an hour passes and everything starts to move around, you still hear the noise outside of lots of other ships and stuff getting ready to do their own trips, and then it begins. The loud roaring noise of the engine starting up again. This old technology reminds you very much of especially yourself, Abel, you're having flashbacks to the old, the really old movies that you used to watch back in the John Wayne. You're loving it. You're kind of loving it. But they roar into life. The comms go out for your particular coach taking off, and it does indeed take off. It ain't as smooth, but you didn't expect it to be smooth. Again, former free extra John, you're aware that it's probably going to be quite bumpy until it settles itself beyond the atmosphere, stratosphere, fear of death, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't take too long until you're actually in the stars, and you can see the destination is an enormous freight ship, similar to the one that you travelled here in the first place, but not the same one, because you don't want to go back there.
Nope.
But what you do notice is the design of it is almost like it's almost got a, how to describe it? The shell, so the top half of it it looks like a shell. It's almost got a bug-like reference to it, and then all these these coaches that you're on, and sort of like tuck in underneath. Arms come out and bring them in like arms of a bug, bringing them in and tucking it under, a bit like a woodlouse, collecting these space coaches to bring them in. And again, this takes a bit of time till they're all locked in. There is the whole kunk and like shoving you around, and you all just make sure your seats are sorted and stuff. Mason looks very excited that all this is happening. And the ship, this enormous freight ship, begins its journey back to Earth. Okay, let me just change some music.
I'm gonna have a look around, see whether or not any of the sort of passengers look familiar, or have a particular penchant for clothing that makes them resemble some kind of candy.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Yeah. The floor, the seats, and maybe the guy sat next to me. It wasn't a 1. It wasn't a 1.
Oh, well, that's all
as
right.
close as you can get without being a 1.
It's a 0.
Let me see. Hang on. Play. Go on, play. Play for me. Play for me. What did you get, sorry?
Toss a coin to your witcher.
Oh, Valley of Plenty. In total, it's a good question. I didn't even bother working my total out because I rolled 2.
City, it's Mulligan.
My perception is 5.
Perception is 5. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. You don't see anyone that stands out beyond the norm. There is a few people that are. They kind of look over your way. Let me start this off. Is it working? Oh, why did that go off? Let's try that again. Are you guys still there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did that go off? Let me. Ah, there we go. Right. Music starts playing. The bar at the back comes to life. The mech there comes to life. The mech comes to life, and people get out of their seats to go and partake in a drink or two. Most of them look like they've done this before and are just settling in for the long haul, as it were. The perception check, you do have a look around. I mean, for obvious reasons, you've got a little bit of curiosity going on, we'll call it that, of folk around you trying to kill you, or trying to kill Mason, or trying to kill anyone that's with you. But it does seem that right now you've got that respite, that moment of peace, if you want to call it that, an opportunity of R&R, if ever there was such a thing in the last couple of weeks of your lovely grouping. But no one seems to be looking at you in a threatening way or looking at you distrustfully. They quite really don't care, it seems.
Sorry, you said it.
There you go. Which
Sorry,
bit?
man. Just the last bit.
No one looks threatening or anything like that.
Cool. I'll just sort of sit there and sort of stay with Mason, really. I mean, pretty much until I get to the point where I have to eat / have to drink, or I'm going to start causing myself pain. I'm pretty much just going to sit in the seat, doing my best job of keeping my eye out, which apparently is a really shit one. And,
You don't know. You're super confident about it,
I'm
right?
super confident I am on it. And if I'm not on it, I got some mates.
Oh, I love that old meta. Why don't you do a perception check as well? I mean, just in case, like.
And for all I know, they're all at the bar getting pissed. You know?
I mean, you're not even sure you've left Mars.
I'll walk over to Abel.
Okay.
If he's at the bar or sit in the seat next to him or whatever.
As soon as the bar opens, Ian disappears into the crowd.
Like a shot.
And as timing, Sweet Shrimp has just entered chat, which I believe is Ian.
Hey!
Hope you're alright, Hope you're resting, taking your tablets. Sorry, Phone Freaks, go.
It's alright. Unit known as Abel,
Yes.
what precisely is your function and ability?
How can I put this? I'm a hired gun. I'm a mercenary. I turn up, I shoot things, and I pat the cello case.
This unit is slightly confused. Are you a musician?
Not quite. And I sort of I look around, and sort of just be like, come in, and sort of like hold my jacket out a little bit, put the cello case on the floor, and push a button, and the case just sort of flips out underneath, and perfectly, it's sort of it's basically a minigun, but it's a sort of old school westernized Gatling gun. So instead of round barrels, there's 8 octagon barrels, and there's like brass, like accents and stuff. Like it's like a retro version of like a brand new killing machine.
413X would like to say to you that you should never use that while outside as a non-compressurized air canister.
Well, yeah.
You hear a robotic voice. Barmech 6 would like you not to use that in here.
I know. I mean, look at it though. It's really pretty, and I'm kind of just look. It's not even connected. I'll push a button, and then the case will go back around it, and I'll just sling it again. I'll be like, it's nice though, isn't it? It's nice though.
This unit does not have a fascination with weapons like you do, but appreciates the aesthetic for your look is
exactly.
in keeping.
Exactly. It fits in. It's a whole package. And I'd sort of like, and I'll move the jacket open again a little bit, and I was just like, and I've got this as well, and again it's.
Let me guess, this is a 6-shooter.
It's my big iron. It's great. And I'll move to the other side, and there's what looks like a cavalry saber, but it's a face sword. But I turn up and I shoot stuff, and as I'm moving the jacket out of the way, you probably get a much better look at the. Sorry, I wrote this a while ago, so I'm gonna have to. What type of armor was it? Oh yeah, military. It's the military police armor. Really high-end, expensive shit. But as I'm moving the jacket, you can sort of like see the big bulky plates of that underneath.
413X thinks you will probably fit in.
I don't know. As long as I don't get hit too many times, we don't want to keel over and know now, do we?
That's okay, we have a medic for that.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh yeah, Ryan's told me about John.
Laughs
He's a
the barman.
very good medic when he gets there in time.
That's all right then. That's great.
It's fascinating finding out more about you. 413X has enjoyed attempting people skills. If you do not mind, 413X is going to go back to scanning the crowd for potential threats that now exclude you.
Great.
Somewhat.
Amazing.
And then I'll make a perception check.
As you roll your perception check, several screens drop from the ceiling, monitor screens, from the ceiling in various positions along the coach. Those that are seating can see them, those that can obviously behind the bar that see them, and they start running ads. Things like, want white teeth? Why not get rid of them? An implant. Cyber teeth. Come see Seymour, feed me now. San Francisco, District 3.
Nano teeth.
Nano teeth. And other such adverts. Want a
22.
minigun look like an old western? 22
No.
perception check.
No, we've got that. It doesn't need any more.
You got a 22 on your perception?
I did, yeah. I rolled average.
As far as 413X goes with military eyes and experience, etc., this is the most least threatening, beyond the obvious. If it explodes in space, you all die. But from the people on here, the facilities around you, it's probably the first time since leaving the military and meeting up with this lot that there has been a moment of no danger, as 413X would interpret that.
413X will then walk to where Mason and his dad are, and
Hi,
lean down.
413X.
Hello, unit nicknamed Mason.
And now there's lots of danger. He's giving us away. Sorry, carry on.
This unit 413X has scanned the entire ship and finds very little in the way of threat other than Abel, and potentially the lack of bourbon that's currently being consumed at the bar.
By Ian.
Cool. I mean, I'm assuming she's flown before. She's probably all right, right?
I think as long as you don't walk forward or try and attempt to gain access to the piloting controls, we should be okay for now.
Look, I can fly. I never said I was good at it.
413X would like to check, have you only ever flown virtual?
No.
Inside.
This unit is detecting a modicum of lie. This unit is not very good at personal skills, but understanding that probably pushing you more will only mean that you will attempt to lie worse. So
Look, let's just say that my
413X will
record
stop
of
now.
non-virtual craft isn't great.
Is that because it is 1?
0.5.
I'm 0 for 2, okay?
413X understands.
So, unless you all wish to do anything talky-wise or anything such, monologue incoming.
Go for the monologue.
Cool. The big
Fire
ship.
away.
The big ship.
Nano monologue.
Nano monologue, followed by carbon neon biscuits. So you it is taking you towards Earth. How it gets you there, you don't know, you don't care, you just know that this is the way to get there. If it is similar to how when you approach this particular ship, it might be a case if it gets close to Earth and then said space coach is ejected to then do its auto piloting towards Earth. Who knows? But during this time, and it does take a fair amount of time, and you are aware of the jump that will be happening soon, these screens are probably your only form of distraction beyond getting a nap, powering down, just ignoring the world as you go on. Lots of adverts happen. However, the first one that catches your attention as it breaks the norm of an advert is an announcement from the San Francisco News. The reporter Stephen Jones comes onto the screen, and you see Stephen Jones at the bottom of the thing, no other title, just his name. He's short, or appears to be short compared to the people he stood around. Either they're super tall and he's average, or he's short and they're average. His brown hair's got an undercut and swept over to the left. He's got a long jacket on and it's fastened tightly as the weather that he's in is pretty crap. There is an element of not where he is, his background. It doesn't take you too long, well, especially for Jean and 413X, to say that he's in District 3, possibly 2. But the way it looks, you can guess at 3. There is a large crowd in front of Stephen Jones, the reporter for San Francisco News, and they seem to be gathered around looking in his direction. Behind him, the people behind him are blurred, as if you would blur them on your conference call or such. But you can see a few people behind him. He holds up his little microphone, although you don't see his hands, you just see the microphone sort of hovering in front of him. You join us in District 3 to a large crowd. They've gathered to see the opening, or should I say the reopening, of the 5 Trinity Church. The Gone, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Coming. Here we have Imperial of the Sweet Shop organisation and benefactor behind the work done. He steps backwards and the camera refocuses. And you see a very tall, slender, bald-headed male. So bald that his head looks bony. Yep. Even from here you can see his eyes are augmented and have a green light. Not he has green eyes, he has green light in his eyes. His suit is probably cost a fortune. It is white with a mint green tie and has a bit of jade trim to the cuffs. Like the cufflinks have an element of green to them, and you can see that he's very much encouraging his handle of Imperial Mint, the leader of the Sweet Shop organisation. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. And a passerby walks in and just like jumps in front of the camera, executed on the spot. Thank you. Welcome all. I will keep this short. It is an honour and a lifelong dream to be able to open the doors of this divine house, the house of the One. I would not be where I am today if it was not for my faith. That very faith has kept me on this path, and a path I have been lucky enough to share with my kith, and gestures off screen. Turns towards Steve, the reporter. Rumour has it this is not the last church you'll be reopening. I'm also told that you have received permission to build a brand new church right here in District 3. How is that going, Imperial? You are well informed, Stephen. We are indeed working towards opening more churches across the city. Too long have their aisles sat in silence. There are many who wish nothing more than to share a moment, a prayer with those of faith, and not to have to do it in the streets. People will flock, and the church will thrive. And the one you're building anew? It will be divine, and his green eyes glow bright. Thank you, Imperial. Steve steps forward. Camera goes blurry again, and you just see Steve as the focus. Well, you heard it from the man himself. Back to the studio. Goes back to the studio and starts flicking through adverts again. Any reaction? Anything you should do? No, go on.
I'll look at 413X ago. Do you reckon rather than a charity tray, he passes around some reference?
413X is still trying to work out if he is using the 20th century colloquialism for being mint.
Because he's rich.
Or because he thinks he's stylish. Or both.
I mean, I'd have gone with purple trim and tie myself.
Just writing all this down, kids.
The first thought that 413X has ever thought about this is that he's a prick.
He's Sweet Shop. Is he
Either
the
way,
Sweet Shop? Is he he's like the guy, right? They all work for him. So they're all tangled up with his church malarkey. The church to do with the One, which is all about...
Is it 1 or 5?
Well, it's the church, the 5 church, but he said something about the One, which is the same thing that mad cookie scientist back on Mars said about Cain. I make it very, very super obvious in no way, shape or form that I am looking at Mason when I say the name Cain.
Fake Mason don't even react to the word kin.
Yeah.
You
That's
saying
the-
that we should further investigate this?
I'm saying that it's too much of a coincidence that the sweet shop. It's too much coincidence that Kane's mother is from the sweet shop, and the sweet shop are looking for the one. And the timing of all this, that he's done this, he knows Kane's on his way back to Earth, or he thinks he knows Kane's on his way back to Earth. I think what I'm saying is that we're going to get a welcoming committee.
I am confused. I thought that the bubblegum lady worked for them. Has she left the employment of the sweet shop?
She told John that she did not agree with what they were doing and would have nothing to do with it.
413X wasn't close enough for the conversation.
It's more of a reminder for John.
Cheers, dude. I'll relay that.
It's been a few months.
I remembered it was like sort of, it was a loose no. But
Yeah, it's
wasn't a
cool.
hard
It's
no.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll jump in when I think it needs it.
Cheers, dude. Thank you. I'll relay that. I'll say, yeah.
In which case, there may be a lukewarm, imperial minted welcome for us on the return to San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to come up with a plan.
413X does not advise that.
You don't want to be prepared.
So far in all of our battle assertions, we've worked a lot better when we don't have a plan.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably fair.
With 27 episodes, that kind of backs up 413X.
Deal with the situation that is in front of us and work around anything that we think of in the future has been the seemingly vast motto that this group of punks has managed to maneuver so far.
I look over at Abel. Any of this mean anything to you?
No, I've not been in San Fran for ages. Like, yeah, it's been a while. Like, what's the sweet shop gang?
Heavy hitting mercs, very well connected, expensive, arguably the best street gang in San Francisco.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll turn up. It'll be fine. Whatever.
When
You all
we
seem
first,
like you're intelligent. We'll
when we
just
first
sort
got
of deal
together,
with
we
it.
had a bit of a run-in with one of them. Bubblegum's sister.
You do know Bubblegum, Abel. You just thought Bubblegum were a nickname, not anything related to some sort of street gang.
All right. Didn't know she had a sister.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Whatever happens, really. Let's be fair. Like, we'll get there. We'll see what happens. We'll deal with it. Like,
maybe let's hope we've got someone looking out for us back on Earth. There's definitely a lot of people that are looking for us back on Earth.
yeah. Well, did you leave anyone back on Earth that?
We've got a couple of friends.
There you go. I'm sure it'll be fine then.
The unit known as Able didn't finish the sentence. So 413X was unsure whether to say we've left an awful lot of people that want to kill us. We've also left a small indigenous tribe of radiated beings and people that don't want to kill us, and not many more people in between. Generally, people want to kill us or are ambivalent.
You lot make my job so easy.
This is also not to mention the man that took over the previous gang that we worked for, which Jean has a penchant for wanting to kill repeatedly, including with a plane and bullets.
Weapon of choice.
And a bomb.
Fighter jet. Yeah.
I'll turn to Mason and be like, "Are you sure you think you're safe with?" You know what? Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Dad. Super safe. With
Well,
my
yeah,
dad.
fair play, champ, fair play.
The
Anyway.
irony of such a statement is that we are all still alive. Therefore, it's probably the safest place to be in the centre of the eye of chaos. And 413X will look at Jean.
I think you're the eye, Dad.
Thanks, Mason.
No, he's smart. This one, he's smart. Thanks.
So drink.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get some, and I'll just.
413X will remain here if you wish to go and attend the bar. I believe their stocks of bourbon are running low currently.
Best keep up.
Cool. I'll head over and get a hopeful sake.
Your desires are met when it comes to beverage wanted. As you all settle back in and have your drinks and such, and you know the journey continues, you get other adverts that pop up. This one in particular sparks Abel's interests as it comes over. Yeah. It's just a rerun of the Magnificent Six, because they couldn't afford the sequel to Magnificent Seven.
Spoilers.
Just a bigger announcement for an up-and-coming Murder Ball, Minotaurs versus Pit Bulls. And then it goes on to spiel that it's the biggest match-up this season thus far. You get to hear a lot of the Murder Ball news on Mars. It's probably the only thing you care about, coming from Earth, to be fair. You're not like super lunatic fan, unless you so wish to be. But it's just an interest you've had, helping maintain your physique to be the enforcer that you are. You do the jump. You are propelled through space, through science and magic, closer to Earth. It
So
does
close, so far.
Yeah, it does take a bit out of you. There is the whole jet lag is tenfold in these sort of situations. 413X and Jean, you're far more used to it than the rest. 413X hardly notices it. Jean, you notice it but are aware of how to just set yourself, curl your toes on the carpet and stuff before the building's overtaken. But yeah, you prepare yourself to embark back to Earth. Once you hit within a few term of distance to Earth, but you're not far from Earth, you get to see the screens now show you a shot of planet Earth with a destination time and such like this, that you've got a few hours left before you arrive back to Earth. Just as there is another news bulletin hits, and it comes in and it cuts halfway through one of the adverts regarding being able to
Church
use
on fire! Mint Imperial gone missing!
Yeah. Din din din!
Is this plot?
What, the advert's more plot than you think. There's an advert for dreadlocks that you can use, very similar to Dr. Octopus's weaponry. You can have them cyber enhanced to kill your enemies in a single swish, and then you get a few people all with dreadlocks, just spinning them and annihilating animals out on like a 30-foot yard from them. It's very much Starship Troopers. But I enjoyed making these adverts. And the news bulletin comes in, and it basically mutes the dreadlock advert, and then it just scrolls along the bottom in text, like over and over again. I've lost my nose clip. 2 seconds. And it says, Reports from the Vatican in Rome. Valuables dear to the Pope have been taken. An internal investigation is underway. It is a sad, and then it goes on to speech marks. It is a sad day when thieves defile the holy grounds of our city with sin. The Pope asks that you pray with her, and that the thieves atone and return the items. For sin is no way to live a life. And that is from Cardinal Ramirez.
Well, it's all happening in all the religions, isn't it?
And then the sound comes back and it carries on with the dreadlock advert. Weaponized dreadlocks.
Right. Oh look, you can get little daggers.
You can't. He's made that up. Shoot him. His line. More time passes, unless you wish to talk about a theft that went on in the Vatican.
I don't think anyone's particularly that bothered by it.
That's cool.
I don't know. It smells like a link, but you know, we should just ignore it.
Just putting the seed in there.
lot of religion going on. Lot of religion.
Bus gets released. It does its automated flight path back down to Earth. Again, coming through the atmosphere, all that palaver that you experienced before leaving, the flights you've done back in the day, it's all very similar to yourselves. Abel, this is probably the first time you've been nervous for a very long time, but it's more of a new nerve rather than a nervous. But you come through, smooth sailing, as smooth as it can be, and you see the lights of San Francisco. It is a night-lit landscape. You can see it for miles. You can see a lot of the other continents of the world as you're passing over them, and you go towards America. As you come into San Francisco, you land at the Atmos Port, which you know to be one of the travel ports, the airports of the city that are used for such things, and it lands. It is far more clean is the wrong word, but it is far more sharp here when you get out. Mars, the dome cities and the dome dock is very much a massive mining sort of flavour, that construction site worker feel to it, whereas here you're back in District 3 of San Francisco. The music from the bus carries on into the foyer, as it were, and you were all basically ushered off by yourselves and by those around you that are just trying to get off. You go out, the admin here to get back through, and the security and the check-in and check-out and all that palaver again is more admin than it was up on Mars. You go through several chambers to essentially decompress yourselves, that whole fresh air clean sort of what's the word, air jets to give you all that nice I can't think of the word, debug, and you are back in the main rooms of the San Francisco Atmos Port.
You mean decontaminated?
There you go. That. And science and magic, mate. Science and magic. As you make your way out...
Wizard did it.
Wizards with a machine gun. As you make your way out as you want to leave the place, you get to the security checkpoint. Every one of you, when you put your Perspex tickets in, all green, they let you through, no one checks a thing. You get through. There is somebody stood in the doors that lead out into the streets. There is somebody stood there with a very large sign of Crown Estate. A big crown on the front, doesn't say Crown Estate, there's a big crown on the front, which is the exact replica of the badge of the Crown Estate. And question mark, can you turn your camera on, please, and describe what they see?
Who's this? Hey! He's back!
Niall, welcome back, dude. Welcome back, mate. It's been far too long. For those that will hopefully, the millions that watch this on YouTube, can you describe Chase, please? I can't hear you, dude.
Super quiet.
I mean, that's very Chase. No, wait, no, it's the other way.
However you had it at the start of the call.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Do that.
So what you are greeted by is a 6'4" tank of a man. Brown hair.
Cheers, he's back. He's back.
Whew.
Brown
Getting
hair.
hot in here.
Tanned. From last time you guys saw him, he looks bigger, size-wise. But, you know, he's wearing very chunky armour, clothes. Just... that's Chase, really.
Schwarzenegger in First Terminator, I understand.
Yes, yeah.
And you see Chase holding the Crown Estate, so.
I'll,
Abel, you haven't got a clue.
I'll look over at 413X. I'll look at Chase. I'll look over at 413X, and I put my hand on my sword. And my other hand is kind of like, you know, not so much holding Mason's arm anymore as like ready to be shot.
Mason goes, Dad, that's Chase.
Using my internal microphone,
Yeah.
I will to speak to Abel. You might want to get that cello ready.
Your first gig's about to happen.
I just kind of say, Mason, yeah, but which one?
The one that left.
Yeah.
That's a very broad side.
3.87.
I'll walk up to Chase.
Abel will put himself between Chase and John and Mason.
Yep.
I'll put Mason behind me.
I love it. Chase is just like, oh no.
Just a corner line.
So, 413X, you approach Chase.
Who are you waiting for?
Well, as I see 413X approach, hold my hand out to shake his hand.
With a minigun.
It's been a while.
413X is still not accustomed to
Handshake.
gesticular hand motion, but will attempt it.
There's a strange moment where Abel and John and even Mason and a few passerbys watch these two humanoids shake hands in a very, very different way to what's ever been witnessed on any world before.
How has your time at Crown been?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Little jobs here and there. Paid okay. Apart from that, it's just been steady away, plodding along.
Are you still working for them now?
Yes, for now. You know, I was hoping when you got back and the dude that swapped with me, you know, we could swap back and I could leave.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That could potentially happen if you were in a more horizontal position
Pervert.
and also had been murdered by other agents.
I killed him.
We should have a drink later.
And now?
Currently, at the moment, I'm not entirely sure I want to let you any steps closer, Chase.
I'll take a step back. So I understand. I'm still me. You can still trust me.
A lot has happened since attempting and successfully attaining Mars Atmo and then
Why?
returning.
You finally
Why
got to
didn't you-
Mars, did you?
Why didn't you tell us you were from Mars?
You don't know me.
What? I'm from here.
Yeah.
That's a
okay.
conversation for not in the middle of a public thoroughfare.
People walking past like,
Maybe we should take this somewhere else.
Who-
Cybermaster, what district are we in?
3.
3. Okay.
Am I actually currently waiting for anyone here?
Them. You're waiting for them.
Alright. Right, sorry.
Literally written on your brief, lad.
Whoa. Chase doesn't read briefs.
Neither does Niall, apparently.
They happen at Chase, right? That's how it works. That's how we all remember it.
So stood
It's
about.
not that he doesn't, it's more that he can't.
Stood about.
It's not that he can't, it's more that the words give up the hope and just be absorbed by Chase. That's how it happens.
About 40 feet back from you, Chase, who you know is there, is a driver. Stood there in a perfect black suit, white shirt, black tie, chauffeur's hat. And you are aware that there is a vehicle to take you to wherever the party wishes to go to rest their head from their trip from Mars.
Yeah.
All paid for by the Crown.
So yeah, we've got a vehicle there for you guys to go wherever you want. Already paid for by the Crown.
Do you
I
know
was
what
told
crown
to-
one? That's sorry.
I was just told to come pick you guys up and take you to wherever you guys want me to go.
Okay. Somewhere busy.
Whatever. Wherever you guys want to go.
You see Chase just gesture to the driver.
I look over at 413X. Look, we may as well go.
We are on foreign ground now. So probably the best place to go is a hotel with a bar.
Well,
I like the bar idea.
You will like some of our new companions then.
do you trust the driver?
He's driven you before a couple of times, but other than that, he's just a driver. You don't. It's entirely up to you, Chase.
He's a typical driver. He's driven a couple of times, here and there.
It's not important about whether we trust the driver or not. It's the fact that it's already too late. So we may as well just go and see what's in front of us and deal with it.
Yeah, a catch-up is needed. What the fuck has happened, guys?
A lot. Let us get into your vehicle and go to wherever a good hotel is.
Head towards vehicle.
So, assuming you all do, and Abel doesn't just crack out the old cello and just sing his arrival, you all get into a very, very, very beautiful, pristine limousine that is outside. Walking towards it, Abel, the 413X, you spot every military modification applied to this and are fully aware that there is probably other modifications to it, well hidden. Jean, you can even spot modifications given to this that you've seen on the medical vehicles and such when you were doing your practice runs and doing your more dangerous training. This limousine is definitely kitted by somebody with a fuck ton of one longs. The driver, when you get towards them, you notice that they have a metallic sort of featureless face. There is just a single eye orb at the front with a bit of a blue glow to it, and the driver is of you'd say high-grade mech from the way they are. But they walk as a human. There's no clumsiness to their movements. It is a very not a synth. It is a very well-made, expensive mech. The mech makes no noise, but just opens the doors for you all. I'm assuming you all get in. You all get in the limousine. You're all now in this limousine. The cushions are lush and mulled to your lovely buttocks, and are the most comfiest thing you've ever sat on. Even as a synth, you are like, I actually enjoy putting my unit here. There are obviously buttons that you can push if you so wish that will provide you drinks and such. Chase will show you like the way around the limo of, oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is where all the booze is. There are screens that you can search the old tinterware with and all sorts. It is exactly what you'd expect from a mega corporation showing off. What does stand out a little bit, and you might find it weird, you might find it typical, you're entirely up to your own interpretation, but there is a picture of the triplet Elizabeths in an old school photo frame, just, where you're sitting and the driver sat in front of you and you've got that wall and the screen's just sat there. just an old school, proper like Victorian sort of photo frame with a picture, hand-drawn picture of the Elizabeths just on it, clearly doing their smile of. Sticks out like a sore thumb, to be fair. The driver, just their head turns and the eye orb looks at yourselves and just stares. This is where Chase knows to tell the driver instructions.
Where are we going, chaps? Just hotel, bar?
Yeah. Yeah, nearest, biggest hotel.
The screen lights up on hearing that, as you see the orb, the eye orb of the driver sort of pulsate a few times. The screen lights up and you see a map of the current area with 5 flags pop up on the map of hotels. There's details about them. All 5 of them have bars, all 5 of them have spare rooms, all 5 of them are within a 20-minute drive. You just need to pick 1 to 5.
I'll just randomly tap.
I need to know what number you picked.
I'm literally going to roll a d10 and half it.
Okay.
I picked a 4.
Hotel 4, yeah?
And you be starting none of that.
As you, the limousine sets off and you start taking to the streets of District 3 in San Francisco. As said on the map, within 20 minutes you do approach a very large building that is indeed a hotel. It is 4 stories high. It is not super expensive from the look of it, but it does have a... there's definitely... You would need 1 longer to stay here. It's not, you couldn't get a free ride at this particular hotel. The big sign outside has a neon tiger sprawling across a cushion, and the name of the hotel is the Silken Tiger. There is a casino bolted onto the right hand side of it, which is also seems to be part of the same business sort of collection. It's all part of this Silken Tiger hotel. And there's a very large multi-storey car park on the other side of the building. The mech driver pulls the limousine straight outside as a drop-off area outside the hotel, and the doors on the safe side of the limousine pop open.
Yep, get out.
Yeah, head out.
As you're getting out of the limousine with your passives and general awareness, you see a transaction on the screen behind you, and its details being populated for the Silken Tiger Hotel with your names given: 413X, Abel, Sean, Ian, Mason, and there's a room for Ryan as well.
That's Yitten.
Yitten.
There we go.
They spell it right.
If I didn't correct him, right, there'd be hell to pay when she gets back.
Laura would be like, I quit. I'm playing Betty next. And you see the money passed. It's a few thousand one long, and the rooms are paid for. You all leave the limousine doors closed, driver moves off. You see the limousine pull into the multi-storey car park. Before we go any further, it's 20 to 10. I need the toilet. So we're going to have a quick 10-minute break. I'm going to grab a drink. I'm going to go to the toilet. In that order. And we'll be back. So, see you in a bit, guys. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See you soon.
Boom. Welcome back. Heavyweight Gaming, we're playing Carbon 2185. Dragon Turtle Games are the creators of it. I'm the sponsor of the show. And if you go to their web store and buy stuff and put in the code WAITE, WAITE, you get 10% off. Boom. Go check it out. By the way, you can go watch all the previous 27 sessions of these lovely lunatics on a YouTube. Assuming that's where you're watching it. Right. You've arrived at the Silken Tiger. The hotel lobby is before you. It's all right. It's District 3. It's of a standard that, again, you'd need money to stay here. You know, you're not going to blag your way in. There's already a few people in there. There's a bar area, and you assume the 4 floors above you are rooms and such. As you enter, there is a beep boop as you all enter, and the mech behind the counter reacts, turns, and places the room key cards on the desk in front of it, and just its orb just goes wom, wom, trying to get your attention. Which
Walk over and take a key card.
cool. As you get there, they all have your names on the key cards, and then they fade out as you pick them up, so they're just a blank key card.
Okay.
As we're walking, so what happened to the Larry? He went with you as well, didn't he?
The Larry.
Yeah, he really likes Mars. He wanted to stay.
Oh, so he didn't bite the bullet.
No.
Are you just
Oh, no.
talking in the lobby, or you have to sit at a bar in someone's room? What are you doing?
As 413X picks up the card and says no, he walks to the bar.
You go to
Presuming that is where all transactions of information happen in D&D, Cyberpunk.
Star Trek. You go to the bar area. It's a long L shape that curves round against the corner of the back wall, and then loads of round tables and chairs.
I'll
There's a few
find one
people
in
around.
the corner, away from everyone else.
Checking the time. It's about 11 o'clock at night.
Order a round or two and just say to Jean, fill me in then. What have you been up to?
I'll give him the.
If you don't wanna-
We went to Mars to do this job for Crown. We didn't really know what they were after, but we knew that it was in a facility in Olympus Mons. When we got to Olympus Mons, via 1 or 2 detour incidents, we found various bits and pieces. We're not really entirely sure what it is of those that Crown wants, but we have in our possession a few things that might be the thing that Crown wants. We also ran into a little bit of trouble, which we managed to fight off in our usual style. And when we got back to the main spaceport to make our way back to Earth, there was Crown agents all over the spaceport looking for us, looking for Philip. And they took him down before we could even get on a transport to get back here.
Well,
How did you know? Look, you know it's me under this disguise, but did you know it was me that you were meeting, or did you expect to meet who I'm pretending to be?
you guys. So I knew it were you guys, meeting you guys.
Okay.
So I was told to meet you guys at the port.
Technically speaking, I'm still on Mars.
Yeah, I think Crown might know you're not on Mars anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'll send Jean a quick text if it's still the same number.
Yeah, it's still the same number.
As you go to your comms to send a message, you have an inbox, a single message from your handler, the Duchess.
Read it. obviously not out loud, but
Yeah. Kill them now. Stab them now. Stab them now. Just says eyes on ? You don't have to reply there and then, dude. It's entirely up to yourself.
Yeah, because we all know how well that went.
there's
So you text? Do you text John still, or?
yeah, text John.
Okay.
Where should I be looking?
Send the message to Sean saying, orders, let them know you've rested. Squad will be sent for use in the morning.
Even writes use in full Yorkshire. And it doesn't auto-correct it.
Once I send that, just go off. It's like, well, that's into just as conversation. Well,
Do they
shit.
know who? Do they know who he is? I point at Mason.
Are you asking him or texting him?
I'll ask him.
You've no idea, Chess.
Shrugged my shoulders. Couldn't say.
To be honest, Chess, you have no idea why there's a kid with him.
I'll copy the message from Chase and send it to 413X and Ewan at Abel's number.
I look over at Ewan.
I'll assume you've swapped numbers on the trip here.
Fair enough. And Abel. I'm like, I'll just text back on a group chat that I will add Chase to.
Fucking WhatsApp.
Back in the group chat.
Change the profile picture to a spud.
Whose side you on? Question mark.
While keeping up the pretense of having a conversation and not all staring at our mobile phones like 20th century kids.
It's 2185, mate. I'm surprised you're even talking to each other.
As I was sending that first text to Sean,
Yeah.
I look at Ewan and Abel. It's like, they seem to class up the group a bit. Bit of looks, a bit of extra muscle to help me out. Conversation like, whilst sending text message.
So,
You got another message from the
Everything.
Duchess.
everything in this hotel is on Crown.
Whilst taking a drink, like give a good nod.
The message you got from
Yeah,
the...
sandwiches. Bring me over the champagne list.
The message you opened from the Duchess obviously shows that you've seen it, so you now get 2 question marks.
Meanwhile, I'll order a bottle of whatever in fact, no, screw that. I'll order 2 bottles of Veuve Clicquot, a bottle of Veuve Clicquot Rosé, 2 bottles of Bollinger, and anything from the vintage menu that's got a price tag that make even Bison's eyes water.
So I
It
will
all
reply
gets brought to you.
I'll reply to the Duchess saying having drinks, making them easier. I'll send that to the Duchess. But
Okay.
then I will also say to Sean, best not drink too much. Water is a better option.
Good, because you're in District 3 and this shit tastes like water. You're pretty sure the mech's just scribbled on the bottle. Yeah, what he said.
Water doesn't dull the senses.
Like,
This is Ewan.
Winky emoji.
We met her when we arrived on Mars. She had also been contracted by the Crown Estate to assist us in getting to
Fired now.
the... Sort of what?
oh yeah, she lost the job.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I said she was contracted.
She just keeps drinking.
Was contracted by Crown Estates to direct us to the Mount to be able to infiltrate the facility and then to be able to expedite our extraction from Mars. And this is Abel, a gentleman we met less than 4 hours and 58 minutes ago.
Mason looks up at you, Chase. He's a cowboy.
Short one, but looking good one.
Yes.
Yeehaw.
And this is
That's my boy.
My son.
Mason.
Why'd you say it like that, John? This is my son. This is my dad. Hello, Chase. I'm Mason.
Hello, Mason. Nice to meet you.
While we were in the Olympus Mon facility, investigating the interesting occurrences that were going on there,
As 413X is saying this, I open one of the bottles of champagne, I pour a big glass and I slide it over in front of Chase. No, you're gonna need that.
we found several bizarre experimentations that had been going on in the facility. In a lot of the bio chambers in one particular area, there were many models of a unit known as Chase.
Take a drink.
As does Mason.
But I'm like, easy.
I know there's not much oxygen on Mars, but what?
My mum.
This unit did not stutter. It appeared that the units that resembled Chase were being manipulated in some way.
They were big.
Like a stunned expression on Chase's face. I don't know what to say. I mean,
Well, we already met one other of you.
7.
You didn't meet 7.
Well, we didn't meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met one other. I can't remember what designation it was at this moment. in time.
Magnificent 7.
That's it. Embrace
We
the
potentially
positivity.
met another 2 or 3 of you.
This is accurate, yes.
Did
Drink the
you
rest of the glass.
Find anything more out about the fact that there are 7 of you?
Well, there's only one of me. There were 7 of them. I mean, I'm still me. Like the other Magnificent 7, I didn't know anything about them until the first time we met. And these
Did you
ones on
further
Mars-
any investigation into that?
No.
Been kept busy.
Just doing jobs for Crown and whatnot. Since, me and F1L1P swapped positions.
Hey, am I right in saying we left 4 of them? There was 4 of them still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send that in a text
yeah.
message to Chase.
So there's 5 chairs. 4 of them were filled.
I'll send that to Chase basically. 5 chairs full filled. We reckon you were the 5th.
And there was an element of the other 4 coming to the 5th.
Also, while at this facility, we found further experiments in another area
Mason waves at you.
to do with young Mason.
I'm gonna send a text to Jean and 413X and Ewan, basically saying I wouldn't go into too much detail, maybe, but whatever. Just send it.
I'll send a reply to Abel just saying fair, but we need to know if we can trust him. He's an old friend. One of the very few we actually have in San Fran.
As you will remember, we were sent there to find something called Project gemstone. And in the underneath of the facility, in the bowels, one might say, we located several gemstones.
Were you successful?
We don't know. We're not sure which one Crown actually wants.
F1L1P, when interacting with the gemstone, had an experience which he put akin to several hundred to thousands of personalities within either a gemstone or all of them. Almost like they were trapped.
Eddie,
Yes.
the brief that you've given me,
Yep.
I remember it all, yeah. The dreams.
You should do.
Yeah.
You didn't remember you were meeting them, so it's on you, mate.
You read it like a month ago, AD. Come on.
All of that on there, mate, is exactly what Trace knows. Anything beyond that, you're unsure of, or you'd have to find out.
Yeah, no, it's... I mean, with what you said, you know, I got injected with some when I was breaking up a fight, but I thought it was just a weird dream, but a woman with sapphire eyes and ruby eyes fighting with swords. You know, that sounds a bit... I don't even know what to make of it, really.
413X vaguely remembers people discussing some being with sapphire eyes, but mostly has been focusing more on the younger unit.
It was Larry, wasn't it, that was with Philip? That went down the tunnels. Yeah. Glad that bit of plot went out.
Sorry, buddy. I did the best I could to remember
Larry,
it from
I'm not travelling with this
413X.
lot anymore. Philip dead. Brilliant. And now we've got Super Chase.
Yes. But it's great to catch up and all, but you know, with what I've sent you to, you know, it's good catching up. But what I sent, you know, John, you might want to think about something to do, because the no, and it could be any minute, or it could be at morning.
You have
Cool.
You have an inbox, Jess.
Read it.
Say when.
5 minutes.
I'll look over.
It's just a 10-second
I'll look-
countdown.
I look at Chase. I look over at 413X, and I say to Yun and Abel, so 413X is right. Sometimes we're better when we're just reacting. And I send a text message to the Elizabeths saying, "We're here with your lapdog. I'm gonna kill him in 30 seconds."
You get a message back. Okay.
And then
I got your gems, bitch. Come and get them.
You get another message back.
Stones.
Okay.
as I don't know what Jean's just put, but
You
take
get a
another
message
drink.
from the Duchess, Chase.
Yep.
Thank you. Your services are no longer required.
Kind of state of pricks.
You get another message from your bank with a 0 on your funds available.
We make everyone poor in this game. That's what we do. We literally bankrupt everybody. He was saving up for his dream house.
Well, As this fella would say, yeehaw, motherfuckers.
Yes.
And, well, just look at everyone. Get ready.
Always.
Cheers, that. Always, mate. Always. Who else have I texted?
I'll pick up a glass of champagne.
Fuck, I'm taking the bottle.
I'll
Through a straw.
slosh it around for a bit, drink it, throw what's left, throw the glass on the thing, look over the bar and go, your champagne shit. And just say,
The mech does not react.
I was going to say.
I look over at Mason and just go, you know, maybe we should have brought the real one, but you might want to keep your head low.
I go hide.
Yeah.
Mason just runs, jumps over the bar, and just sits behind the bar.
Damn it, you took my spot.
The mech, yeah. Chase is like, I'm gonna sit there. The mech looks at Mason and just carries on doing what it's doing behind the bar.
I'll look over at Chase and then the others just go, I guess I better go and make sure they get here okay.
I told you,
If-
your friend.
As soon as I'm assuming John's about to stand up and walk outside, as soon as he gets up,
Sure.
Abel's just going to get up and follow him.
Okay.
Not in a I'm going to jump you, but in a but in a
Thought he was a friend.
but in a sort of like a couple paces behind, a sort of like respectful distance, as in I'm vaguely bodyguarding you, but trying to not bodyguard, but not make it obvious.
Are there any other patrons in the bar?
Yep, about 8.
They're all wearing black steel suits.
With AK-40 2196s.
Strapped to their hips.
Take one last wig and follow Jean.
I look over at 413X and go, if it all goes to shit, we need to get that Mason to the sweet shop, I reckon.
Understood. 413X will look at Yuten and promptly
loading
guide
with-
her over to the bar and then over the bar.
Yeaton goes and takes cover behind the bar.
I'll start kicking over tables as we're walking past him.
Spitting on stuff.
Apologising to people. But sorry about him, he's drunk.
Just creating cover.
Now that you've got your new ability, you know you can cover.
Fuck yeah.
I'm just going to create this meta.
No, I've always loved a fight, but I think fucking off is probably the better option right about now.
Where?
Finally, the wise one.
Where are we gonna go?
You do realise there's a back door exit, right? Well, a side exit. But, you know, I'm just saying. Fight another day.
Stood at the glass door.
413X is going to look in the bar for the said side exit, if there is one.
It's very obviously towards the back where the L-shaped is round. You can see there is a back exit. Stood at the front door is the driver. The mech driver from the limousine.
Oh, you never said he was a mech.
I did say it was a mech.
He said it was a mech.
He had a bloody silver face, featureless. He had a single orb eye.
Yeah. I mean, it's not many people that dress like Philip.
Yeah.
Just the one to wear for crown.
Yeah.
So the driver that everyone else knew was a mech.
Okay.
Oh, cheers, bro. Comes into
far away is
the.
he? Oh, he comes in.
Yeah, he comes into the.
He's gonna kick your ass.
They come into the bloody robot. They come into the lobby.
How far away is he?
About 40 feet.
Cool.
Are you doing anything? Before...
Yeah, I'm just gonna blast him with a long range strike.
Go for it.
I should use this.
Chase. You know, we could just fuck off.
413 is about
and
to
grenade.
walk over to check that it's okay. But...
Oh look! I found the exit door.
Do we have some re-rolls?
We got two.
You got two.
Got two.
Motherfucker. I was gonna pull you for that, but I was like, I don't want to give it away.
It was very much worth it.
That's why he got them in quick.
Where's my attack?
Is this, have you used the reroll?
Yeah, I've used the reroll. Yeah. 21.
Hits. So what is it you're doing?
Long range strike with my arm, and I'll max damage it. That's 30 radiation damage.
Radiation.
Yeah.
Against a robot.
Cool.
Good.
The shot, you see the gun extend from Jean's forearm, and that like a green orb of energy shoots across the lobby and hits the machine, the mech driver. For how much damage?
30 radiation.
Cool. You see it corrode and melt away. The suit gets disintegrated, and you can see the. Again, it's a very expensive mech. You can see it as before described. It doesn't like clumsily walk around or anything. The suit gets melted away, and you can see some of the plating on the front and that get hit by that radiation blast. And there's almost a acidic sort of effect that burns some of the metal away and stuff. It just stands there.
Cool. So it's still standing then.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's not like they made them out of tinfoil.
I know, but I thought the
You
radiation.
should have listened to the description, man. It looks like a really, really expensive mech. Ah, it's just an halfling. It's
Just made of aluminium.
As soon as that shot lands, the helmet comes out the bottom of the Stetson, and I just swing the cello case round and push the button. Just a minigun appears in my hand.
It is Desperado. It's not even hiding it anymore.
Shit, I have to put it around. Yeah.
And I just sort of like step forward and sort of like put myself again between sort of like this mech and have Jean on my right shoulder.
Are you firing?
Not yet.
Cool.
As soon if it raises a weapon, then I'll open fire.
I would like to check the exit door, but you know that's just when you've got time.
As you're at the exit door, 413X. It swings out into the alleyways behind, and you can see all the skip bins and such that are all like situated out there and just piles.
There's a
of
neon
rubbish
light
and
that
stuff.
says freedom.
Neon light says
Total
possible
awesome.
level 7 this way. But yeah, it's more than accessible as an exit.
Cool.
As a service fee.
And then I will send via internal communications to those that have
As
passed
you
me
are
their
sending
internal communications.
you
The
hear
back
the
exit
shot.
is clear.
You hear the shot during mid-sending of communications.
The back exit's clear.
Say, Jean, you know when I said fight another day? The day was not today.
Well, technically it's 5 past midnight, so. I need to know what you're all doing regarding offensive actions to determine whether there's initiative need. The mech has not reacted to the shot other than its suit getting obliterated.
I'll look at I'll sort of I'll glance at Abel and just go, I think Chase has got a point. If that didn't take this out in one shot, then
Fucking hell, Chase is making sense. What? Oh my god.
I think we should.
We've missed you for a year, man.
it's all that Crown Estate stuff. It's been rubbing off on you. You've got Tic Tacs now and everything.
Yeah. Okay, that's absolutely fine, John. I also agree, but I also told Ryan I'd look after you and the boy. So
You just
you
hear
back
from
out,
behind the
then.
bar, "I'm safe."
Good boy, good boy.
Good boy.
So,
Wait, it's a
you
lot of
back
sheep
out.
come flying out.
Yeah, I'll get Mason.
I'll back out as well.
No worries.
Swear.
I'll draw my sword and start back and sort of back off. Knowing that Abel's behind me, I won't keep an eye directly on the driver. I'll just sort of head straight to the bar, tap on it when I get there, look over and sort of say, "How we go, kid?"
Chase, 413X and Jean, you all get a message, as does Ian, but she's obviously not here. Leave the sheaths and live. From Anonymous. But you can assume whoever you wish.
As we're passing the bar, ask to Yen, grab a top shelf bottle for us.
And there's Chase.
On, but he's
There's
not forgotten.
the Chase. Yeah, there we go.
I look over 413X. What do you think?
Are we on bad terms with them, other than whatever you've just done to whatever was coming through the door? Other than
Well,
them
set us
hunting
up.
down what they deem to be a traitor and someone that left their employment and killing him.
Philip wasn't shy about his non-existent
They were gonna
love
take
for
us
the
out.
Crown Estate.
They were going to take us out. Chase told us they were going to take us out.
Well, either we take them with us, in which case they're guaranteed to try and kill us, or we leave them, in which case they may forget about us or send a smaller squad to go and deal with us. Or maybe just the driver.
The mech is still there in the lobby, just sizzling. The orb's still
I
blue.
look over at Yun and go, "Well, I'm not carrying." And I'm a bit concerned here because I feel like Lauren would have a view.
She probably would. However,
I'm
while
pretty
Lauren is
sure.
distracted reaching for the top bottle for Chase,
You four
413X will
have
take
to
the
make a
sheep.
decision. So 413X, you're taking the sheaths. Ian is sufficiently distracted. You now have the sapphire and ruby sheath in your hands. As you take hold of them, the mech begins to walk towards you.
Don't fire. Don't
I'll
fire.
spin up the minigun and be like, "That's close enough, fella. That's close enough."
Everyone in the foyer, the 7 or 8 people that were in there before, have all scarpered to the edges and have flipped tables and all holding around the tables, almost like they left their weaponry in their rooms.
Balls. You don't go anywhere without your cello case.
This is San Francisco.
The mechs don't react. The driver mech just keeps walking up to 413X. Unless anyone stops it, it will stand right in front of you and just hold out its hands.
Abel, stand down.
All right. I push the button on the cello.
Turns into a violin.
Fuck.
Sneak attack, motherfucker!
He's a musical midget.
And just holds out the hands for the sheaths.
Yeah, 413X places them in its hands.
It takes both of them, just literally does that. They stick to its back. It turns and walks out of the hotel.
Whereabouts Sue?
Just keeps walking. Like this.
Comma, L, comma.
You look around, there's a bit of a mess like the tables, and the mech at the bar goes, "Crown Estate bill," and just carries on. You see a zoom, as if something's been charged to an account.
It's obviously not Chase's.
Make sure you tip yourself well.
It looks a question mark on the eye. Mason, am I still hiding?
No.
Did we win?
Sure.
Yay!
So where do we go now?
Where do we go?
Probably somewhere not here.
Where I live?
I look over at Mason. You have a place to stay?
Do I? Looking at you excitedly.
Can't go to mine. I'm like,
Don't know about you.
I pull up the yellow pages.
I don't know about
It's
you.
blue in
but
2185.
This is all prepaid for, so I'm just gonna stay here the night.
Of steel! Of steel! I mean, I would. We stay here? You were
If
all
you can name
wrong.
me somewhere else that we can go in the next 10 minutes, then we'll go there.
Throwing out the wisdomous.
To be fair, I think 413X has got a point because, like, all they wanted was the swords or whatever. They walk. They. What's the harm?
Crown are vindictive.
They're a corporation, of course they are. Everyone is.
So
We're already on their shit list, but they've already paid for everything.
Including this big bottle of scotch. I'll
You,
wink at the mech.
The mech, there's a wink back that you think it's scotch.
I'd be like, I mean, there was no. We literally, all our connections here are pretty much dead. You know.
Matt, so, me safe now?
All we had to do was get you to the planet, Mason.
So safe, yes?
Yeah, I think so.
As soon as you say and confirm that Mason is safe, you get a message from Ryan. It is a account transaction, and the money promised is delivered to your account, which I believe was it 2 mil each?
I've probably got a note of it somewhere. Not
Think-
sure if it's in this book.
I think it was somewhere along the lines of. I think it was like 1 or 2 mil for.
I think it was 5. There was 5 of you,
Yeah, it
or
was for
something like that,
like,
so it was 5 mil.
yeah,
But
but
then
for
one
Larry,
of you, yeah.
Philip, but like everyone but Jean, except now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't take any money out for everyone else. Effectively.
Remember you doing some kind of crazy thing where you're a charity case?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
get fuck it. You get 5 mil. I'll check my notes. If it's more or less, we'll adjust after this. But you get 5 mil into your one longs. So spend it now before I change it. Put it all behind the bar. Fuck's sake. 5 mil enters your account with a thank you note attached to the transaction. So it's more of a pre-sent message than he's texting you from Mars. So you can't just text back and go, "Hey, fucking signal's great in here, man." 8G.
Intergalactic.
This 8G's badass.
I'm like, what were your instructions next?
To Mason.
Yeah.
I'm a street urchin. I'll work my way up through the gangs and
I'm
take
gonna
down the establishment.
gonna create a thieves guild. Call myself Oliver. Happy with money?
If it's self-destruct,
Yes.
I'm gonna laugh.
Goodbye. And you just see the blue of Mason's eyes go. And you just have a Mason
Golly.
in front of you.
Gummy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just
Creaky-
in the
creaky
middle
edge
of the bar. Yeah.
So, take a swig of this top shelf bottle. So,
I'll
yeah.
I'll just look at the back. Do you have any paper?
The mech produces paper from under the bar, confused that it's 21.85.
Blows
Nano
the thick
paper.
layer
Yeah.
of dust off of it.
It's definitely a Rizzler wrapper from 1942.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not going to do what I was thinking to do. It's stupid. I'll
What?
just go.
What?
It's
Oh,
never
fucking
stopped
hell.
you
Yeah,
before. Let's not start now.
we found the limit. I don't know what it is, but we found the limit.
I was going to write a no. I was going to write a no on it, just saying not the one.
Not the one you're looking for. This is not the Mason you are looking for.
I mean, like,
With a waving hand.
we should probably get rid of that.
Remember Bison?
Where are you going with this?
Because he's outside. with an
not
Uzi.
get through the first episode back without mentioning Sean's arch nemesis.
For no reason whatsoever, a sense of dread comes over Abe.
So, yeah. Remember Bison? It's probably not good to go to District 5.
You reckon?
District 3?
You're
I've
in.
always fancied
We're
District
in.
1.
Have you got the money for District 1? Because I don't. Not anymore.
I'll look at my bank account balance and be like, yeah. For a couple of nights at least.
For an hour, maybe.
I'd say we need to move now. Staying here is not good.
We need to get rid of this because,
Pick him up and let's start walking.
well,
So you
4-3
just
wants to stay here.
pick up Mason.
Yeah.
There you go.
By the face, just
Just like, do you have somewhere to stay that's safe, secure?
Oh, I won't trust it anymore.
Yeah, all your safe houses are Crown Estate safe houses, Jess.
This unit would like to let you know we have 4 minutes and 6 seconds before this unit will be staying here.
I mean, I look at Jörn instead. I suppose you know anyone on planet.
She's already in the bin, mate. Like,
I guess she's
drinking
staying here.
like a fish non-stop.
But Chase, let's just stay here.
Jess, give me a. What's the charisma variety? Is it people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not what I'm after. Give me a mind save.
What is that?
This happens when you pick Mason up.
$15.
15. You might have done it, you little prick. So, when you pick Mason up, this happens instantaneously. You see the female, or at least presenting, the one you remember as Sapphire, more clearly now. And you see the male presenting Ruby. Ruby with a very large sword. Sapphire with a smaller, more slender sword. And they are sparring. And you see Mason sat on a cushion with lots of paperwork around him. Nothing electronic, all paperwork. Picking them up, reading them, scribbling on them, putting them back down, picking others up. Just watching this fight go backwards and forwards. In the same facility, area, place that you felt you had a family, or that feelings you were getting before in your dreams when the hallucinogenics were injected into you. You see them clearly now and fresh. And you know Sapphire to be called Michaela. I'll let you write down. And you know Ruby to be called Lucas.
Yep.
and you see the four tables with the 4 of yourself on, and the empty one at the back that Jean and Form 3X had described to you before. You see it vividly, and it looks familiar. And you get that weird out-of-body moment where you're stood watching this fight as if you're stood there watching the fight rather than remembering it. And you have something called ghosted happen to your mind. So, going forwards, you have the condition ghosted. So just make a note of that. And it's a long memory, but it happens instantly.
Okay. Falter in my step, and it's like, look at Jean and look at these guys, and it's like,
Everything all right, Chase?
yeah, no, I don't know. And effectively, what Adi just said to me, I will explain with Sapphire, Ruby, the names that I remember. Picking Mason up has just triggered something, and things just came to me. It's like Sapphire is called Michaela. Ruby is called Lucas.
And Mason.
What you said about other me's in Mars, I saw that as well. As that, I haven't never seen anything like that before. I don't know what to make of that.
You've received a message, John. Thank you.
From?
You know who from.
Anonymous.
No, I don't think so.
It's from Anonymous.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay.
From Pav.
This unit's internal clock has reached 10 minutes. Therefore, 413X will be staying here for the evening.
Ian Bucks. Yeah. She's like, yeah, me too. Putting straws in all the bottles.
I agree on that notion now.
Okay. We still need to get rid of this synth.
Let's take him up to rooms with us.
Okay.
I've got my bottle.
So you all have separate rooms? You're all more than, if you want to bunk up or all sleep in the one room for safety reasons. It's entirely up to yourselves. I just need to know.
Chase would, but...
Where's Mason?
In my
With
hands.
Chase. I'll go with Chase and Mason.
He's on Mars. Have you not been paying attention to the plot?
Oh, shit! Not really, no. So, who's in their own room? Fallen 3X, Abel, you're going to be in her own room.
You alright if I stay with you, Chase?
Yeah.
Chat for space aids.
I think Chase is pretty much immune to that now. He's level 6.
I can give you some pointers how to avoid it.
Become a daimyo. So,
prophylactic.
Is the Mason synth in the room with Chase and John?
Yeah.
It will be, yes.
Okay, cool. It is around midnight, if not a bit later. You all settle, you all take the booze with you as you so wish. Chase and John, in your rooms, you manage to separate the bed so that you both got a single. Chase, shoulders on either side of it. And you put the Mason mech in the corner, wherever you put the Mason synth.
In the cupboard.
In the cupboard, locked, facing the other way.
It's got that freaky look in its eyes.
Where do you put Mason? Do you put Mason in a wardrobe? Just on a table? Where do you put Mason?
I'll lie him down on the floor.
Cool. Stand on his head.
So I'll cover him in a blanket.
Cool. You all go to sleep, or shut down, or power down, or whatever it is you so do. When you can hear the music downstairs kind of coming through the ceiling, or the floor, sorry. You don't care. Despite where you are, there is a almost confidence in the comfort that's provided for you from your messages, Jean. You've got to the point of, I can't give a fuck, I'm getting a good night's sleep type. You know, they haven't shook you enough. You were more than happy to go, you know, toe to toe. So getting your head down, you don't feel that anxiety of, you know, having to keep one eye open type thing. 413X has worked it out. This is possibly the best place to shut down for a few hours, so therefore we'll shut down. Abel can't give a fuck. They probably walk straight past him. And Chase is the second hardest motherfucker on the planet. So
Who's the first? I'm taking him out.
No, Christ, this is Bison. we crashed a plane at him and he survived.
Well, because you missed.
Just barely. Just barely. Nearly had him.
So,
With
go on. You're a
Okay.
synth as well, aren't you, Chase? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making
Okay.
sure I've not written all this shit, and you're like, human then? I'm like, fucking Jesus.
obviously,
Badlander.
I'll text 413X saying, effectively coordinate. You do 4 hours, I do 4 hours. So we've got some watch
The full
effectively,
night shift. Okay. That's
Yeah.
Cool.
like we used to.
Well, like we used to. What, when we played D&D? You get to your shift, Chase, regardless of which way you want to do it around. You get to your shift, and as you're sat there on the bed, just kind of looking around every now and then, poke your head out into the corridor. It's District 3. The hotel itself is... it provides enough for someone to be comfortable, but it ain't like lush as, do you know what I mean? There's money, like I say, you need money to be here, but they're kind of hoping you just stay here, fuck off. You're not here for the long run sort of mentality of the hotel. There's a casino next door that they expect you to go and blow all your money and then not be able to stay here anyway. So it's got that sort of vibe to it.
Premier Inn.
It's a Premier Inn with a casino. However, the blanket shifts and the Mason synth sits up and its eyes light up, as in light bulbs behind the eyes, and the mouth opens and words start to come out. You don't recognise the voice. Jean, give me a perception check.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah, as soon as it
You
sits
let
up,
me
and-
die!
It's a zombie!
17. Sorry.
17. Cool. You hear the voice of Ryan in the room. Like you kind of like you're facing away and you sort of half wake up and you can hear the voice of Ryan.
Okay. I'm like,
It just starts. It starts speaking, and you obviously try to interrupt. Thank you, Jean. What you have done has saved my son's life, at least for now. I fear that the sweet shop will still come looking, and when they find out they have been deceived, will triple their efforts to discover where Mason is. Speaking with Bubblegum, and you feel a chuckle. Their plans are over the top, dramatic, and steeped in a long dead religion. They are fanatical and devoted to their cause, and I do now fear for your life and the life of your friends. If this message is being played, you have been paid, and I hope that money helps you in whatever venture you take going forwards. The Crown Estate, I have asked more about of people here, and there are people wandering around asking about yourself. Don't trust them. Don't give them anything. Don't let them hire you, use you. Stay away from them. Get as far away from them as you can. If the rumours are true, they too are involved in this fanatical ideal of the sweet shop. but in conflict with the sweet shop. I've only just got this message to the synth, so I don't know if this news is old or new to you. But please stay alive. Again, thank you. And if ever you're on Mars and need help, you only have to ask. Take care, my old friend. Lots of love. Me and Mace. And then it finishes.
I'll just look over at Chase and just go, shit.
I'll put the weapons away.
Ah.
Well, if we
We've
helped Crown by giving them the sheaths, then we were working against the sweet shop. So maybe it's not all bad.
What were the sheaths?
You saw them. Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
As I say, they seemed to be. They were kept in containers. I mean, they were clearly sword sheaths. One was ruby, one was sapphire.
But they were empty. There was no blade.
They were empty.
One is of a longer weapon, just so you know. The ruby one is longer than the sapphire one. Just for
So-
you, Jess.
Yeah, so the vision I had of the sword fight going on, with the swords that they were using fit these sheaths effectively.
And I didn't see it, but it would make sense. Yeah.
Are you asking me,
Particularly-
or are you asking John?
Particularly,
I'm asking you, Eddie.
All right, cool. Well, John's not far off.
particularly given where we found them and that obvious connection.
There's a strong possibility, but dream to having the sheath in front of you without the sword. The ruby sheath is quite large, the sapphire sheath less so. You know, it's not too far a stretch to say they might fit the weapons you saw them using, but again, you'd need to confirm with them being side by side.
I'll send a message to 4 and 3X Yun and Abel just saying Ryan's been in touch. Crown have been asking after us on Mars. All is safe at the moment. Told us to avoid Crown. Crown, the sweet shop, both believe in this religion stuff, but are at odds with each other.
You get a message back from Ian. Wow.
The unit you're currently trying to contact is in maintenance mode at the moment, and we'll get back to you upon safe return.
You'll probably get back a long-winded message from Abel being, religion's always confused me, and these are the reasons why. It'll turn up 15 minutes after you sent the message, and it goes on for a while. You probably get bored reading it.
You don't know.
But it does have some very good points in it.
Brilliant.
I don't know. I feel like each needs to roll a persuasion check on that one.
From a text message, you're at disadvantage, right?
So
Okay.
the question is, which is the lesser of the two evils?
17.
My favourite number.
Either way, the longer we can keep the fact that this Mason is not the real Mason, or out of, we have to assume that Crown know. We have to assume that Sweet Shop don't, and the longer we can keep it that way, the better for us, I imagine. The question we really have is, given that we are in the middle of this shit, do we want to do something about it or not?
I mean, I have no idea what you've done on Mars, but sweet Jesus. I thought it was a simple, go get this thing, bring it back. It's like you've nearly caused World War III, man.
How long have you been a punk? Nothing's ever that simple.
Did you get paid that 10 mil?
No. Of course we didn't. You were there when I said no.
What a prick, Jess. What a prick.
You're so lucky that this is happening with a verbal chat.
I was like, yeah, you were literally sat in the room when I said no to the money.
God, it's been that long.
Burn. Fucking fucking burn.
Yeah, well, the others still don't know about it, so keep that between us, eh?
Teamwork, kids. Teamwork.
Look, we've been paid for the job we've just done, which is buying Mason and Ryan some time, and that's good pay. The others will be happy with it.
But where do we go forward from here? That's the question. Do we go to the sweet shop and try and get them on our side against Crown?
Cheers for the raid, spellbinding games.
I can't see. Sweet shop hates us because we pitch Bison against Cherry. The only way we're going to get in with the sweet shop is if we
Yeah, but we didn't really piss the sweet shop off, though, did we?
piss Cherry off.
But we didn't.
Shooting bonbons at us last time.
But we tipped. Yeah, but don't forget, we tipped them off that Bison was going to do that. It wasn't really.
Oh yeah, and what happened? Him and Cherry nearly killed each other over it, only for them then to gang up on us.
Whoa. Cherry didn't, if I recall. It was Bison.
She helped. She told them where we were.
Yeah. I remember
mean,
the
I'm
Chase
just gonna
remembers
put
how the
this out there.
detractors.
If we deliver Bison's head to the sweet shop, they might listen to us.
That is actually a pretty good idea.
Sorry, James.
I'm making the foolish mistake. I've picked out the book and gone, I've got money to spend. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it to myself. Honestly.
Just don't waste your effort, mate. Just don't waste your effort. What you should be doing is flicking back to the character creation. Abel's like, what's this? What's this?
Look, let's finish up resting. We should.
I'm good, mate.
Yeah, I need a little bit longer.
Goddamn mortals.
Mouth breathers.
Wow. Not even humans, just mortals and mouth breathers now. There's the next plotline. So, you eventually have your long rest, 413X and Chase, fulfilling their shifts. I'm assuming you re-blanket Mason back on the floor and stuff. There is an alarm at 6 AM along the lines of get out.
Jesus, not like a premiere in there.
Maybe in 2185. I know some of these faces. I mean, hi. Hey up, Shower Dell, how you doing? So yeah, 6 AM, alarm goes off with a encouraged message to check out.
Heed the message. Pick up Mason. Slap Sean awake if he needs be. It's like, Sean, time to go.
You all wake up, all meet up in the lobby downstairs. The mech looks at you and a message reads on its face. Room's no longer paid for. Check out for, and then reels off yourselves. And then slots appear, just like come out of the desk, for you to put your key cards in to return them.
Yep, pop them in.
You'll pop your keys back?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now what?
Right. I reckon we need 2 weeks to think about it.
Right. The driver's still there.
I mean, because we've got nowhere in 15 minutes.
Segwaying mother flipper.
So, if you really want, we could call it there.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm seriously, I have no fucking clue where we're supposed to go from here. I'm like,
Sandbox, kids. Sandbox.
yeah.
Okay.
Go and see if any of the old gang are still alive somewhere. Why not?
We'll call it there. You got 2 weeks. So what's that? What are we on? 18th, 25th. So the 2nd of December. That's right, isn't it? We shall return. We will find out. You've got 2 weeks. Please talk to each other during that 2 weeks. And we'll go from there. We'll work it out and then in 2 weeks.
I just really hope Lauren listens and watches this because I do not want to explain it to her.
We'll have to recap the recap.
Cool. All right. So those that have watched or watching on YouTube or anything like that, thank you very much. Those that raided, cheers, Bob on in games and your lot. It's odd to see you not as a prince. I mean, I get told that a lot, to be fair. Sharonell, good to see you again. We're jumping off now. Thank you very much for joining in for the last whatever bit you caught at the end. Guys, it's so cool to be back at it again. It's been too long.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
It was a lot happened tonight. I was really happy with it, and hopefully Lauren is well rested and sorted. The YouTube wasn't changed. No, it's same YouTube as Sharonell. It was just the channel I had to change because Twitch are really good at the job. But you know, but yeah, thank you very much, players. It's been great. 2 weeks. We shall return and hopefully carry on this mad cyberpunk adventure in Carbon 2185. Right, say goodbye, players.
Goodbye. Have a good
Bye, players.
Bye.
Bye bye.